For 200 years, the British Army has trained officers at what is now the Royal Military Academy. Developing leadership by enhancing character, intellect, and professional competence. For 48 weeks, male and female officer cadets from all walks of life, British and overseas, come to be challenged, moulded, and refined. This is Sandhurst.
Being an army officer is a privileged position with almost unlimited responsibilities. This requires an array of specially selected officers, both commissioned and non-commissioned, who can instill the necessary virtues and attributes in the young men and women who have the desire and the determination to succeed in this, the most demanding of professions.
I'm conscious that it can be quite intimidating arriving at Sandhurst, especially for those who have had little exposure to the military before. Therefore, the purpose of this short video is to give you an idea of what to expect when you step through the gates of Sandhurst, including some of the challenges, so that you can arrive better prepared, both mentally and physically. The Academy has over 200 years of history and a worldwide reputation for being a centre of excellence for leadership and development of our young officers. You will follow in the footsteps of many great leaders of the last 2 centuries. Young officers have gone on to become generals, heads of state, and captains of industry. Sandhurst has been formative in their development, and this is still the case today. On the commissioning course, you will stand shoulder to shoulder with people from all walks of life, both male and female. We need diversity, with people from different backgrounds, education and ethnicities, graduates and non-graduates. Some will have previous military experience, most will not. Sandhurst has also had the honour of training potential officers from over 70 nations from around the world. It is really important for all potential officers to learn about and understand different cultures, because we will certainly be involved in multinational operations in the future. Building the relationships that will last a lifetime start here. At Sandhurst, you will receive the most intensive and demanding officer training, which is delivered by the best instructors the British Army has to offer. You will forge close bonds with your fellow cadets, and together you will be tested mentally and physically. You will discover things about yourself that you are not aware of, both strengths and weaknesses. You will learn to lead when you are cold, wet, hungry, and exhausted. And that being physically fit and robust gives you the edge when those around you start to fade. You will understand the true meaning and value of teamwork, where it is all about others and not yourself. You'll make friends that you'll keep for the rest of your life. And you will not only learn the importance and relevance of the British Army's core values, but be expected to live by them. Our core values are courage, discipline, selfless commitment, integrity, respect for others, and loyalty. Ultimately, you will understand what it truly means to serve to lead.
But let's now show you the structure of the commissioning course and what you can expect.
In junior term, you will receive the foundation not only for your time at Sandhurst, but for your military career. On arrival, you will be organised into platoons and companies. You will meet for the first time those you will train alongside and the directing staff who will be instructing you. Before we begin to shape you into a leader, you must learn the basics of military life: how to live together, how to look after yourself and the equipment you will be issued, how to present yourself as an officer cadet. You will learn barracks administration and basic drill and start to form teams. Things might seem trivial, but they are important. And unless you get the basics right, you cannot learn the more advanced skills later.
Weeks 1 to 5 are all about a transition from civilian life to becoming a soldier and starting the journey of training to become a young officer. There's a considerable learning curve. In fact, that curve continues through the whole of the junior term. But we are teaching the basic soldierly skills that will be the skills that they'll need to take on and develop through the rest of their career. Exercise self-reliance is designed to get cadets into the field. It's their first exercise at Sandhurst, and it's all about how to live and survive in the field and how to carry out basic individual skills and drills.
There are various core skills you must master, and equipment you must learn to use effectively. Navigation and map reading are critical.
There's going to be 5 weeks of intense training where you don't have access to your friends and families you might be used to. It's going to be a very different environment, a very structured, very disciplined environment. You need to be able to work hard for a long amount of time. The first 5 weeks, you're up for extended periods of time working and marching around the academy. So if you're not physically prepared for that, then the body is going to feel very tired, and the mind, therefore, very tired very quickly.
Long reach is one of the biggest challenges of the junior term. It's a demanding physical and mental exercise where cadets cover up to 70 kilometres in a 36-hour period over the Black Mountains. It tests the cadets on their navigation skills, their physical and mental robustness, and some of their command skills, basic command skills, through a series of command tasks which they'll conduct at checkpoints. And also, I think really importantly, it tests how well they work within the team.
You will be schooled in the fundamentals of command and learn about the structure of the British Army, as well as basic tactics.
The officer cadets will be introduced to the values and standards which they'll be expected to live and conduct themselves by.
As the course progresses, you will be taught the tools to examine military problems and develop sound, workable solutions.
The NFC, and if the tactical situation permits, appoint section commander.
Most important of all, you must be able to deliver your plan to your team.
They'll be introduced to the command tools, which they'll then use throughout the rest of the commissioning course.
Fitness plays a key role throughout the term, and whilst the course is progressive, you must turn up fit. Over the term, you will further develop your stamina, strength, recovery, and overall cardiovascular performance.
The fitness programme is progressive, but it's essential that you turn up here with a basic level of fitness.
You will spend a significant amount of time training in the field. This hones both your ability to look after yourself in any environment, as well as improving your command and tactical awareness. The final exercise of junior term is Cricken's Challenge in Sennybridge, Wales. This is an opportunity to apply what you've learnt so far and operate for an extended period in a demanding environment.
Cricken's Challenge is the confirmatory exercise for the first term, and it tests all aspects of the training throughout that term. The exercise not only tests their skills as a soldier, but also tests their skills as a commander, and we start to see those leadership qualities come through. And it's non-stop. Sleep is limited. The cadets will need to prove that they're physically and mentally robust to cope with the challenges that Seney Bridge has to throw at them, and the level of activity that they'll put through over that period of time.
By the end of term, you will have a solid grounding in the fundamentals of military leadership, organisation, and the mechanisms of command, control, and communications. You will have become accustomed to living in barracks as well as outdoors. During a 3-week period of recess, everyone will take part in military adventurous training, followed by a well-earned break. It is a chance to recharge your batteries before returning to Sandhurst for the intermediate term. The move from the junior to the intermediate term is physical as well as conceptual. Officer cadets will live in New College for the remainder of their time at the academy. As well as a change of scene, there's a shift in focus, with officer cadets taking on more responsibility for themselves and their peers.
As a chief instructor, what I want to see of the cadets coming into the intermediate term is that ability to move away from basic soldiering to really demonstrating their ability to lead in the field, lead in barracks, not just on exercise where everybody associates it with command appointments, but also the example they set to their peers, to their colleagues, in the role that they take in contributing to wider military life, be that on the sports field or academics, because this is the time that they really have the opportunity to stand out from those around them.
There is a heavy emphasis on mastering the analytical tools that every officer must be able to use, namely the battle-proven combat estimate and orders process. Your training in this area culminates with a test of your ability to analyse a problem in the field and then formulate and deliver a workable plan. All officer cadets, British or overseas, must pass this in order to progress.
We're training the mind to make command decisions, and that's not an easy thing to do. And so the way we instruct it at Sandhurst and the DS who are selected to come here needs to be carefully considered.
There is a large academic component over this term. In Faraday Hall, you will be taught by world-class academic staff, and you will find yourself challenged in different ways. As well as developing physically, it is an opportunity to grow intellectually. There are a number of key field exercises over the term, each focusing on a different aspect of military operations, and each with unique demands and opportunities. You will expand your military theory, looking at other operations of war. Early in the term, you will be introduced to the principles of defence and fighting in a contaminated environment.
In the middle of the term, we have exercise First Encounter, which is a defensive exercise, and that brings its own challenges in that it is arduous, 5-6 days in the field with very little sleep, taking defensive positions, and at the same time trying to motivate and keep the morale of those under your command up so that you still achieve the task, which is preparing a defensive position.
Later in the term, we move into the urban environment and increased complexity.
Towards the end of the term, we have Exercise Druids Ridge, which is where the cadets probably, for the first time, get exposed to real complexity. Operating both in an urban environment and also in a rural environment, and dealing with the challenges associated with moving between those two cities.
There is more to officership than purely field skills, however. You will be expected to embody the core values, and you will also learn more about military protocol and tradition, such as formal dining, remembrance, and looking at memorials and battle sites from previous conflicts. During the intermediate term, you will also complete your choice of arm process and are selected to join a regiment or corps. It is a critical part of Sandhurst, as being successful at a regimental selection board determines which arm or branch of the army you will become part of.
So just why the Duke of Lancaster's regiment?
Every cadet will also plan and take part in an adventurous training expedition over recess. Whether sailing, parachuting, or mountaineering, Sandhurst AT has a global reach. Intermediate term is fast-paced and challenging, and you will see gains in your physical ability, your command style, your approach to problem solving, and your practical leadership.
I would say overall the biggest challenge is becoming comfortable with complexity. So not only are they trying to be leaders, use the command tools that they've been taught, being the estimate and orders, but they're also trying to deal with the frictions, in particular being an exercise of a high tempo, pressured environment, changing situation, and exercising leadership over those around them.
Yeah, so what you need to do is put a point 5 just up here to support the windows.
Over the final term at Sandhurst, cadets are not only given more responsibility, but are expected to deal with increasingly complex scenarios. On the first major exercise of the term, Broadsword, cadets find themselves in a complex environment based around a counter-insurgency setting. Over this 10-day exercise, each company will rotate through a period in the rural environment, the urban environment, and as the civilian population in Longmoor Village, a former residential hamlet. It is a fast-paced and demanding exercise where every aspect of an officer cadet's ability and character is tested, often in unfavourable conditions. For the first time, cadets have to deal with minor aggravation, physical stress, and maintaining public order. Exposed to riot conditions designed to put every individual under mental and physical duress, the carefully orchestrated scenarios force cadets to make decisions under pressure, whilst reacting instinctively and applying what they've been taught. It is one of the most exacting, exciting, and even fear-inducing environments you will train in, but also one of the most rewarding, and one in which key leadership lessons are taken to heart.
Okay, get your dressing, get closed up. Right, you've just held...
By now, you'll have a very good grasp of what is expected of you.
Very quickly, going up the steps, it's a little bit more difficult than it actually seems.
Senior term will further refine you for commissioning, but there are final hurdles to overcome.
Exercise Dynamic Victory is the final exercise for the cadets on the commissioning course. It's 2 weeks in the field, so it's the longest exercise they do in the field, and really it's the culmination of all of their training, and it nicely combines both conventional tactics and a more of a contemporary operating environment. And of course it's also the live firing package that cadets really look forward to, so 3 or 4 days on the ranges, using live ammunition, working from pairs fire and manoeuvre up through sections all the way up to platoon, and the cadets certainly get a lot out of that, and it really focuses their basic skills and drills.
you'll have to apply everything you've been taught so far in a testing, fully networked environment.
We also have the tactical effects simulation equipment up there, which allows us to track where every single member of the security force moves to, when they're shooting, when they are shot themselves, and it provides an excellent forum for an after-action review where each of the cadets can see exactly where they are on the big screen, and it's a useful tool for them to see where they've made their mistakes.
Dynamic Victory culminates in the final attack of the course, with a mission to defeat a sizable enemy in complex terrain. It's an opportunity to showcase what has been learnt on the course, and you're expected to lead at every level and ensure that the attack is a success.
Towards Fort Wallace, they come up on the front line because suppressing fire onto the mark.
Single right, we're going to go right, and then immediately left with the gap between the
Sweep all the way to the gate to do an IED sweep, okay?
At the end of the exercise, officer cadets who have achieved the required standard throughout are allowed to wear their regimental headdress for the first time and celebrate with a champagne breakfast in traditional Sandhurst style. The Sovereign's Parade is the crowning moment of your time at Sandhurst. With the entire academy on parade in front of Old College, in front of a distinguished audience. Your family will be watching along with senior officers, politicians and royalty. The day will be one of the most memorable in your life. And come midnight, under the fireworks of the commissioning ball, your tenure as an officer begins. By passing the course, you will have earned the right to commission. There are no shortcuts, and unfortunately, not everyone who starts will finish. Sandhurst can seem like a daunting prospect at first, but hundreds of officer cadets pass through the academy and commission as officers each year. Never forget that you were selected to come here, and the staff are specially trained to help you maximise your potential. Fitness is a huge part of life at the Academy, and through structured physical training, adventure training and sport, you will leave the Academy fit and robust and ready for the challenges of your first appointment. It is a mistake, however, to think that you can arrive at the start of the course unfit. Being unfit makes you more prone to injury and more likely to struggle with the routine aspects of life at the Academy.
Get a grip!
Can also impair your ability to make critical decisions when you're mentally and physically fatigued.
I think fitness at Sandhurst is absolutely key. To turn up in juniors, it's the one thing that is actually a known. Everything else is unknown. If you can sort out that before you come here, you're putting yourself at a huge advantage. There's so much that you don't know about. To just have one less thing to worry about is ideal. If you know you're going on a run and everything will be okay. You might have 7 other things to worry about that day, but one thing will be all right. It gives you that bit more confidence to keep going for the rest of the time.
Within the first week, you will be expected to complete the first of many personal physical assessments. In this case, the most press-ups you can achieve in 2 minutes, the most sit-ups in 2 minutes, and then a short warm-up followed by a timed 1.5 mile run. Males must run the route in less than 10.5 minutes. Females have 11.5 minutes. Failure to meet the basic standards will result in disciplinary action and may call into question your suitability to train at Sandhurst.
Reader, age 28.
If the body is prepared, then the first 5 weeks will be less of a shock to the system, and you will be less likely to get ill and less likely to suffer the small, the colds and the small bugs that go around.
Starting with a decent level of fitness and an attitude to work hard, the dedicated PT staff will make you stronger and ready to face the physical challenges of all 3 terms. Now that you've had a taste of what to expect, it is down to you to prepare for the commissioning course. We will take you on the journey to passing out of Sandhurst as an officer, but you must turn up fit, motivated and willing. It is an honour and a privilege to command soldiers, and the accolade is not given away lightly. Sandhurst will train you to be the best you can be, to serve, to lead.